mastering who you are and what you bring to the table, being operationally obedient, doing the things you have to do to be a CEO. See, sometimes you have CEO on your business card, but you're not really showing up as CEOs. You're taking siestas in the middle of the day, and which is totally okay if you got team and infrastructure to support you taking breaks like that so that business is still getting done, clients are still being served, and sales are still coming in, right? But most of you aren't there yet, and you're not quite acting like a CEO. So that operational obedience, making sure your business's infrastructure is sound, but then that you're also being obedient to what the call to be a CEO really means. You're listening to the Move to Millions podcast with Dr. Darnyelle Jervey Harmon, the place to be for high-level conversations about all things millions. Your mission, mindset, methodologies, mandate, movement, messaging, marketing, metrics, and most definitely your money. I am your host, spiritual business growth coach, Dr. Darnyelle J. Harmon. Join me each week for inspiring stories, powerful interviews, and business growth strategy to help you experience abundance in your life because of your business. If you're ready to move to your next level everything, let's get this party started. This episode is powered by the Move to Millions Quick Start Guide. Wondering what it's going to take to make and move millions? I've got exactly what you need. Go now to movetomillionsguide.com. Let me just say, first and foremost, y'all, I am so excited to be back. Happy New Year. OMG. It seems like forever since we were together on a new episode on what is now the Move to Millions podcast. If you recall, and if you've been a lawyer listener from day one, you got brought in to the Leverage Your Incredible Factor podcast for 2 powerful seasons, 100 episodes. We're so excited to bring you all of the insight that is on the Leverage Your Incredible Factor podcast. But we made a decision in February of 2021 to undergo a brand refresh. And I call it a refresh because I was very clear that changing our company's name was not supposed to happen. But I was also equally as clear and fully understanding the fact that the visual brand representation that we had amassed in the marketplace was not taking us to the 8-figure mark. Have you ever had a moment like this? I literally woke up one day in February and realized that I had to kill the purple lady. You know who I'm talking about. If you go back and look at the previous 100 episodes on this podcast, you'll see her. She's standing right on the side of the name of the podcast. I literally just realized that where we desire to go as we think about operating this business into the next season from our vision point and not our vantage point, the purple lady is not supposed to be along on the journey. Let me tell you something that was really interesting. Once I realized that we needed a brand refresh, that I needed to up-level what we looked like online to match the powerful message that we've been communicating in the marketplace since day one, I went to some of my best girlfriends, and my best girlfriends, they finally, after years of letting this purple lady be part of everything that we were doing, told me that my icon for our old logo was like circa 1997. Well, given the fact that I didn't even start this business until 2007, I was completely behind the 8 ball. They said they didn't tell me because I was making it work. And so for me, it just goes to show how little importance really goes into your imagery if your messaging is right. But I literally did wake up that day in February realizing that I needed a bigger, better, more up-level appearance. And this is actually what happened. One of our newer clients received our new client gift in the mail. Now, we have a service delivery standard at the company that within 24 to 48 hours, once you become our client, we are getting your welcome materials off to you. And so the new client gets this gorgeous up-leveled box in the mail, and she is surprised. She didn't expect it. I literally at that moment realized that we had an opportunity to double down and to go deeper inside of the way that we were showing up for our clients. See, I don't want people to be surprised when they get a gift that is as amazing as we put in the hands of our clients upon enrolling, I want them to come to expect it. And I knew immediately that the brand representation that we had was just not fitting the bill, and we needed to do some serious up-leveling. Y'all, it took us almost a year to go through the process. I had never undergone a branding process before in my life. I literally knew the name of my company, created my first tagline, and went off to the races, never really thinking about everything that goes into the branding process. And the truth of the matter is, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm glad we did it the way that we did. If I had it to do all over again, I would do the same thing. I would work the business for multiple years, get tremendous amount of success and case stories, and clarify all of our frameworks before I would undergo the branding process. And that is what I would tell you. If you are millions minded and you desire to have a company where you are one day $1 million CEO, I do not recommend that you put your time and your energy into the branding process. I recommend that you put your time and your energy into doubling down and transforming the lives of your clients. That's what we did for nearly 14 years. I mean, started the company in 2007. In 2021 is when we first entered a formal branding process with all of the moving parts, with a brand strategist that was amazing, that helped us to get crystal clear on our ideal clients and what we wanted to be known for and the message we wanted to articulate, and then put that into a visual representation that you guys can now see as a part of this newly rebranded podcast. I am so excited about everything we went through last year. And although I kept wanting to pull the trigger to bring the podcast back, I decided to wait until we had everything ready because I didn't want to mar your experience. And I wanted you to be able to understand what we went through and how we got to where we are today. And so in the coming episodes, before we introduce you to some of our guests for season 3, you're going to hear me talking about the journey and what we've done over this last year to get to this point. At the same time, we celebrated a multiple $1-million year in our business, which is kind of blows my mind because growth was not what we were after last year. Last year was all about the rebrand. And we grew the company by 208% while we were getting clear about how to double down and go deep with our clients. And listen, that's not even the truth entirely, because God just gave me the word deeper for 2022 on December the 31st. But I'll tell you honestly that when we started to go through this process and we clarified our ideal clients and looked at our signature programs, Leverage and Scale Weekend and the Move to Millions Mastermind, my team and I underwent this process to realize that we actually serve 2 different ideal clients and that there was an opportunity in serving those clients to serve them very deeply so that they would be transformed, not just in their businesses, but in their lives, right? That if they would be open to what it is that we offer them, fear would cease to exist. Problems with money would cease to exist, and they would see themselves the way that God has always seen them. And if they could see themselves that way, then getting their business to the next milestone would tend to be filled with more grace than it would ever be filled with grind. Like that for me is what it's all about. And what this year, almost a year, has been about as we've been undergoing this process and looking at every orifice of our company. We also in this last year have grown our team substantially. It's been amazing to see what has happened just by taking the time to get crystal clear and to really double down on who we are and who we desire to be. Listen, can I just share with you in full transparency that there was some fear coming up for me as we were undergoing this branding process, making the decision to be obedient and to go all in on Move to Millions. Like, could we just talk about that for a second? It was October the 23rd of 2020 when God gave me the 3 words, Move to Millions. We were at day 3 at the Breakthrough in Business live event. We had to hold it in October of 2020 because of COVID. It was initially supposed to be in May. We had to move it till October. And it was the 3rd day when God said, you know, this is your last time calling it this, right? And I was kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about, God. And he went on to say that he wanted me to continue doing the work that I was doing, but he wanted me to do that work under a new umbrella. And that umbrella was the 3 words he gave me, move to millions. Now, I want to just try to take you back to that moment as much as I can. It's like 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm just finishing showering. I'm waiting for my makeup artist to come. I've got my praise and worship music on, and I'm getting ready and starting the day. And I hear move to millions. Immediately, all over my whole body, I get the most exhilarating chill. Like that is how I know that God is present, when I feel chills. And so I feel these chills and I am blown away at the magnitude of something that I had been praying for months, if not years, was my movement. What was my thing? How was I going to truly shake the planet? I have been talking about shaking the planet for quite some time, but how was I going to make the impact that I know that I was truly created to make? And I heard him say move to millions, and I immediately got those chills and I felt amazing. But then just moments later, although I had to get ready to go on stage and serve the 150 plus attendees at our event, whether they were live in person or they were on the virtual for our hybrid experience, I kind of had to put it down. But for a moment, I felt like Moses. I felt like being called to deliver the people and feeling inadequate. Can I keep it real with you? I tried to immediately come up with every reason as to why it wasn't me and it wasn't my turn, that somebody else should go before me. And then God reminded me that he had equipped me, and that when we looked back over my company for all the years we had been in existence, every year, believe it or not, so I'm going to count from 2011 when I came back into full-time entrepreneurship. The years before, they matter, but we weren't tripping the light fantastic. But from 2011 on, every year, at least one of my clients crossed the $1 million mark. Some even before I was making $1 million a year in the company. And so God had to remind me that I was equipped and that I could take people to the $1 million mark. And if I focused on it, if I honed in if I would follow one course until success would be the result, that I could actually help hundreds make and move millions. And so as I sat with that and I thought about what was at stake for me to show up in this way and to be able to help more people realize their dreams. Listen, there's a lot of people out there dreaming of millions. And you've been duped and hoodwinked and bamboozled into believing that based on the scroll that you make on Facebook, the experts, the so-called $1 million experts who made $1 million with their laptop sitting on the beach. Now, I'm not trying to say that that's not possible. That could be somebody's story, but it's probably not going to be yours, because there's a lot of moving parts that go into making the move to millions. And on this podcast, under this new name, that is my mission. That is my purpose. That is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what does it look like to make the move to millions? What is at stake? What does your mindset need to be? What do you need to get set up inside of your business and your infrastructure to be able to actually support your business at the $1 million mark without you having to hustle and grind to get there? These are the things that I want to talk about under the Move to Millions podcast. And it's part of the reason why we had to change the name. Yes, we still help our clients clarify their incredible factor. That won't ever go away. That's your unique brilliance. And that is what we call it. But it's about so much more than leveraging your incredible factor. It's about making and moving millions. It's about the income and the impact that accompanies it when you are crystal clear who you are, whose you are, and what you are here to do on this planet. And so under this new name of an existing podcast, as we move forward with this powerful rebrand and positioning to you, that is our mission. Our mission is to double down on helping you to get clear about what it's going to take to move to millions. This is not a pie in the sky, it's going to happen overnight type of thing. And I'm not going to present it as such. It took me 3 years to make the move to millions. And if I'm being honest, I made the move by mistake. It was not the plan. But now that we're helping our clients move to millions, every year, about 20% of our clients are making the move to millions. Now that we're doing that, we've got a framework and a methodology and a process that can actually help you to get there. Now, I'll be honest with you. I still believe that it's going to take you about 3 years. The first year is really about putting the foundational elements in place. Trust me, you do not want to make millions without your foundation set. because you're going to break your business and you're going to become the bottleneck and you're going to be overwhelmed and frustrated and you're going to turn back on your desire to move millions of people in the world, right? So year one is really about setting the foundation and making sure that you get the right offers, right? You've got the right messaging. You've got the right marketing infrastructure. You know how you're selling and how to sell consistently. Those are the things that we really focus on in the first year. The second year is really about now fine-tuning those assets, creating a few more assets and building out your systems and infrastructure while bringing on the team that's going to support you to the $1 million mark. See, I'm really big into operating your business from your vision point and not your vantage point. So that means that today you have got to be and embody a $1 million CEO. You've got to make decisions at the $1 million level. You've got to execute the tasks that $1 million CEOs execute. See, some of you are doing things inside of your business that really should be done by somebody you could pay $15 to $100 an hour. It's not the best and highest use of your time. And if you truly do desire to be a $1 million CEO, you're going to have to let those things go. In year two, we really focus in on who should be on the team so that you can build out the team that's going to support the infrastructure that you need to make the move with grace and ease instead of hustle and grind. And then year three is when we really get into scale, right? Now, you can grow your business. You can double and triple your business while focusing on growth. Growth gives you the time and the energy to continue to support the infrastructure and foundation of your company. When you're ready to scale, you're ready to pour gasoline on everything you've done so that you volumize. It becomes a numbers game substantially so that you see those numbers really leap, but without breaking your business in the process. So move to millions for me, I think it's 3 years. Sure, we have clients who this past year in 2021, they made the move to millions and their businesses were doing about $250,000 the previous year. And they did it in 1 year. So can it be done? Absolutely. I don't always recommend that you attempt to do it, right? There's a lot at stake. It's part of the reason why when we first start working with our clients, we give them a powerful assessment to see where they are and how much we can push the envelope to get them to that milestone. But I'm never willing to take someone to the $1 million mark without making sure that they're ready and they can sustain it. Because it's not about being a one-hit wonder. It's really about sustaining a business at that level, right? It's about becoming a millionaire, which can only come as you build out assets, your business being one of those assets, and making sure that you are identifying all of the components of your business in such a way and valuing those assets so that they are actually making money for you. We talk about all of this with our clients because for me, I want to make sure that no one experiences what I experienced when I first made the move to millions. Again, by accident. It was 2014. I had doubled all of my prices, and we had 200 and some people at our live event. We are amazing at what we do, and the experience we create is phenomenal. And so we had a lot of people enroll in our program to the tune of $1.3 million in cash in 3 short days. Just like that, overnight, in the middle of May, we were a $1 million company. We had done it, except we hadn't because we didn't have the infrastructure to support us at that level. I paid a lot of taxes that year, almost $400,000. And I vowed that once I figured out what I really needed to have in place to have a business that operated at that level, I would teach other people. I wouldn't let anyone else make the same mistake that I had made in my own business. I would actually prepare people for millions so that when they got there, it would be a dream come true and not a nightmare they couldn't wake up from. I know I've said a lot and I'm just kind of talking around because I've missed you guys so very much. But I just want you to know that this season on the podcast is about doubling down. And we're going to get into the move to millions. We're going to break it all the way down for you. I've got some powerful guests that run $1 million and multi-million-dollar companies slated to come on and share with you this season. It is going to be absolutely incredible. I kid you not. I'm excited for you because I believe that success leaves clues, and my mission this year and into perpetuity is to make sure that you really know what it takes, the good, the bad, and the incredible of making and moving millions, and how to do one, moving millions so that making millions happens easily and effortlessly. That's what this year is all about. The move is also about the powerful acronym that God gave me. So first he spoke and he said, move to millions. And then he didn't speak for a couple of weeks. And then about 2 weeks later, he says, oh, it's an acronym. Y'all, I love acronyms. They are my favorite. And so I just sat and I just thought, like, I guessed my own what each letter would stand for. And I was partially right. I guessed mastery, operations, vision, and excellence. That was my guess. And God was like, no, we got to tweak that a little bit. Mastery, still mastery. Operational obedience. Oh, I can't wait for that episode. That's going to be so good for you. Vision and execution. Because see, mastering who you are and what you bring to the table, being operationally obedient, doing the things you have to do to be a CEO. See, sometimes you guys, you have CEO on your business card, but you're not really showing up as CEOs. You're taking siestas in the middle of the day, and which is totally okay if you've got team and infrastructure to support you taking breaks like that so that business is still getting done, clients are still being served, and sales are still coming in, right? But most of you aren't there yet, and you're not quite acting like a CEO. So that operational obedience, making sure your business's infrastructure is sound, but then that you're also being obedient to what the call to be a CEO really means. Oh, it's going to get deep, y'all. The vision. And you will hear me talk about this so much that it's not about your vantage point. It's about your vision point. You've got to pray this. This is probably the prayer you need to pray. Grant me the grace, the clarity, and the focus to think, feel, and act like my $1 million self. Then you've got to decree and declare that you make $1 million decisions. You execute only $1 million tasks, and you live daily from a multiple $1 million state of mind. As you take those $1 million actions and hire $1 million teams and invest like a multi-million dollar CEO, so it shall be. You've got to be it to become it. We're going to get all into that as we talk about vision. And we're going to talk about execution, right? The Bible says faith without works is dead. I believe we've got to give God something to bless. And the way we do that is through our execution. We're going to talk about what that looks like in the coming episodes. We're going to talk about who you need to be and what you need to have. I'm going to break down all of the components that are necessary for you to truly embody the CEO that can make and move millions. I am so excited to be back, you guys. I've missed you so much. We have so much to talk about. It's going to be an absolutely incredible season. I'm excited for your move to millions. I'm excited for what's coming down the pike for you. I'm excited to be sharing, to be the conductor on your $1 million journey, helping you to get your life and your business on one accord so that you can make and move millions with grace and ease. That is what I desire for you. That's what I'm most excited about, is really helping you in this way. And this year, this season on the podcast, we'll also be talking about our Move to Millions tour and our Move to Millions live event that's happening in May of this year. You guys know, I know how to throw an event, right? I know how to throw a party. I know how to create an environment for you to get everything that you need to all come into view. It's so powerful what we will do. We're also looking to do some Move to Millions makeovers. So you'll have the opportunity to go to our podcast page and apply to have your business made over live on the podcast. All of that and so much more is coming up for you this season on the podcast. So many things that I cannot wait to share with you. I've missed you so very much. It is going to be on. I'm so excited. I'm so committed to this mission and this vision and showing you what it really looks like to have a business that makes and move millions so that you have the impacts and that solidifies the income so that you never have to chase a dollar another day in your life. By just showing up fully and impacting deeply, by doubling down, you'll be able to actually serve your clients at the next level and be rewarded financially for it. It's going to be an amazing season. I'm so excited to be back, you guys. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just so excited to be back. I can't wait to share more with you about all that we've done over the course of this year and everything that's coming down the pike for you. It's going to be an absolutely incredible season. And I'll see you again real soon. Take care. Thank you for joining me for the Move to Millions podcast. If, after listening to this episode, you're ready to stop playing and praying small, you should go grab my Plan for Millions bundle. One thing I know for sure is that before you can make the move, you've got to have the plan. If you enjoyed our time together, do yourself a favor. Head on over to iTunes, subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Until next time, remember, millions are your birthright, and to access them, all you have to do is move. Take care.